Yeah, we're here today to mark the 77th anniversary of the Nakba. The Nakba is still ongoing from November the 30th, 2047. We just had the good news of Grant twinning with Nablus. Through that diversity understanding and creating awareness with people and the way the Palestinian people live in Nablus, we are going to promote not just diversity, understanding, and also cultural understanding, trade, everything, but most important, we want people to be aware how the Palestinians live under the occupation. Through the twinning group, we hope to demonstrate this understanding and break the siege, not just in Nablus, but in all Palestinian cities. Thank you.
Well, for over 18 months now, the situation in Gaza has been one of the most serious and obvious injustices in a world which is full of injustices already. Today in particular, on the week of Nakba Day, and at a moment where some of the mainstream media seem to be relenting somewhat in their silence, seems a good moment for lots of people to come out and show what is in their hearts.
Everybody is here today because we're all very angry and pissed off with the continuous slaughter in Gaza. And also our government are sitting there doing nothing and just watching from the sideline, and they're actually going on about Ukraine all the time, even though Ukraine is getting far less people being murdered. So it's a hypocrisy going on between Palestine and Ukraine.
Well, today we have the anniversary of the Nakba, when Israel got its independence, and in the process they ethnically cleansed the Palestinian territory. And it kind of means a lot to me because in my youth I'd read the book Exodus, and the Israelis were made out to be, it was a little bit like they were the cowboys fighting off the Indians. And I went to Israel and I worked on a kibbutz, and I really enjoyed it, and I fell for the whole story that I was told. But then later I discovered that the kibbutz that I was on was actually on the land of a former Palestinian village, and all of the Palestinians had been driven out, their homes blown up, and mined so that if they returned they'd be blown to smithereens. So I feel that I actually owe it to the Palestinians to come here and, acknowledge the injustice that's been done to them. That's it, really.
The reason why I'm coming down here today is because I want to support Palestine and the Palestinian cause, which is a horrendous genocide going on. Well, which actually has a very long history, going back to, before Nakba, before 1948. And sometimes there are bombing raids again, like defenseless civil population in Gaza. And of course, at the moment, we've reached rock bottom with merciless genocide, which is just unbelievable that something like this should happen in today's society. In today's world, where we're all witnessing is, nobody can say we didn't know about this. This is known everywhere, and it still happens.
Yeah, as far as we can, as the eye can see in that direction, there are people marching in support, and they're going all over Westminster Bridge. It's a huge turnout that we've got today. How will it end? As the Arabs say, Allahu Alam. What I would hope for is a one state where Jews and Muslims, Christians, they can all live in peace. But to be honest with you, I think Israel they're not fit to run a state. I mean, we've got pictures on our TV screens, well, on social media more, and it's a big shame for regular media, but there are children and they look like Auschwitz survivors. So, I mean, the Israelis, if they do this to people, they are not fit to run a state. We need one state where Muslims, Jews, Christians, they can live in peace together. It's a tough call, but I'm a Palestinian, yeah? My people are from Ireland, and, you know, we have got a state of peace in Ireland, which we didn't think we would have. So that's what I'm praying for.
I think everybody speculates and is forced to be optimistic, despite the facts on the ground there. I just hope that in the US there is a change of heart, and the people I especially admire are the Jewish people, the young Jewish people who are now a majority, who are pro-Palestinians. Of course, all the older ones and unfortunately the wealthy ones are on the other side, but I think that is a big glimmer of hope. I think the US is really the chief supporter. If the US support fails or should for any reason diminish, then I would see some glimmer of hope there. I just hope it comes soon. But I think the US is a major stumbling block as long as they still have that attitude. Unfortunately, Britain's leading politicians are just following really what the US says, because I get the impression that many European countries don't really have an independent foreign policy. They tend to fall into line with the US, and that is extremely disappointing, because I thought with the history and being closer to the Mediterranean and all the rest of it, Europe would have a different opinion on that. But unfortunately also extremely disappointing.
It looks like a big one, and hardly surprising, because people, what they see on the news, what they see on television, what they read about, is so horrific that we cannot believe it's going on. And as my colleagues are Holocaust survivors, and I'm the daughter of 2 Holocaust survivors, we want to protest and say this is not in our name. That's why we're here. I think it's outrageous that this Labour government is still supplying armament to a country that is conducting genocide against ordinary human beings. It is so terrible to see. I don't know how they can live with themselves, and we all need to speak up.